Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat. You're watching iGyaan, and today we're going to be checking out the new Dell G3 laptops for gaming. Let's quickly get started. While Dell excels in their gaming division Alienware quite a lot, they decided to make specific gaming devices under the Dell brand name, and the Dell G3 is one of those devices. So while the G3 series starts at 69,000 for the 15-inch variant, and it goes all the way up to 83,800 rupees, which is the variant we have with us today. On the outside, you can see that the design of the laptop is pretty basic. It does not say that it's a gaming laptop, and it does not scream it in any way in terms of the aesthetic. So for those who are interested in a high performance laptop, which they can also take to work, this is one of those devices. Now, apart from not screaming that it's a gaming laptop in terms of design, the laptop itself is also quite lightweight for a gaming device. It's only weighing in at 2.5 kilograms. It's also fairly thin at just 22.5 millimeters in terms of thickness or in terms of height of the actual laptop itself. Now, once you open up the laptop, you will be greeted with a 15.6-inch full HD display. It is an IPS display with an anti-glare coating, and it is LED backlit. We'll talk about the display in detail in just a bit. Above the display, you'll see the integrated wide HD camera. This has got a 720p resolution, not the greatest, but it does have dual array microphones which capture audio really well. So even if you're not using a dedicated headset, gaming on this device can be convenient. Now, moving over to the top case, you'll see that we have a full-size keyboard which also integrates a numeric pad on the right side, and the backlighting is in a blue color. Now, this does say gaming a little bit, but again, it's not overly bright, it's not overly flashy. It's a basic blue backlight which will be good for using even when you're not gaming. The keyboard has really nice travel, good spacing between the keys, and is easy to type on. Below that is the trackpad. It does have dedicated buttons for the left and right click, but I would recommend using the tap to click options because that seemed to work better, and the buttons are quite mushy. The trackpad is large enough. I would have preferred to use a larger trackpad coming from a MacBook space, but for basic usage laptops and for gaming, because you'll be using a separate mouse in itself, this trackpad is good enough for the laptop. Now, if we move over to the bottom of the laptop, you'll see that the speakers are mounted on the bottom, and these are dual speakers. They're tuned by Max Audio Pro, got good quality audio. But if you're going to be using this for gaming, I would recommend using some high quality headphones. In itself, the sound is good enough for basic usage, and if you're watching a movie, you can get away with just using the inbuilt speakers. So let's talk about ports. On the left side, you'll see the power adapter port along with an integrated LED light. This will tell you when your laptop is charging or is fully charged. And then you also have an HDMI port, an Ethernet port, and two USB ports along with a headphone combi jack. On the other side, you'll see a Kensington lock slot along with a dedicated SD card reader and another USB port for the device, and that basically concludes all the input and output of the device. Now, the laptop in itself is quite easily serviceable, and if you open the back panel of the laptop, you'll see that all the hardware is right there in the front. Now, this variant is the top of the line variant, so we do get a 8th generation Intel Core i7-8750H processor, which is a 6-core processor with a 9 megabyte of cache. It also goes up to 4.1 gigahertz with turbo boost tech. On the inside, you'll also see that there is a M2 SSD. This is a 128 gigabyte SSD. This is used for booting as well as for most of your applications, improving your boot up times and app load times considerably. You also get a 1 terabyte hard drive, which is easily swappable. So if you want to get rid of the 1 terabyte hard drive, replace it with a faster performing SSD, you could easily do that. Since the hard drive is 5400 RPM and it does affect gaming a little bit, I would recommend doing this if you're more interested in performance from the device. You can see that the 8 gigabyte of RAM is used by the single slot on the top, but there is also an additional slot for adding an additional piece of RAM. So you can use 2 slots, and if you can get 16 gigabyte sticks, you can potentially get up to 32 gigabytes in this laptop. The heat sinks and spreaders are quite well placed out, and this is where the graphics card sits. This is a NVIDIA 1050 Ti with 4 gigabyte of GDDR5 graphics memory. You can also see the wireless antenna card is also placed on the outside, so if your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth fails, you can easily replace this out, as can you for the battery of the BIOS. The battery in the laptop is a 56 watt hour battery, and we found that with gaming, you can get about an hour of usage on this, which is good, but for normal day-to-day use, you can easily get 3 to 4 hours of full performance from this laptop laptop, which is good for the kind of machine that it is. And if you turn off the graphics card, you can increase this quite a lot. If you're using it for basic word processing and basic usage on the internet, you can easily have the 1050 Ti turned off and get better performance from the battery life. Now, with all the specifications out of the way, the pricing of the laptop seems really good for the specifications it offers. There are a few caveats, however. The display is not extremely bright, and it becomes a little bit of an issue, especially if you're using it in an extremely well lit environment or outdoors. If you're planning to game with this everywhere you go, that might turn into an issue, especially because the display is not very well lit or very well backlit, and it seems dim at most times. Now, if you're into playing PUBG, this gaming laptop will give you the exact performance that you're looking for. You'll get a good 60 to 65 FPS on that game with full graphics without any problem. The keyboard is great for playing games like PUBG, good response, good tactile feedback from the keyboard itself, and using a third-party mouse, recommended gaming mouse, you'll be able to get a good overall performance on the go for games like PUBG or even Fortnite. If you're into slightly higher performance or higher graphic games, we found that the laptop could only produce 30 FPS on games like Wolfenstein and Assassin's Creed, which was a little bit of a disappointment because I was hoping for at least 50 FPS, if not 60 FPS, considering the kind of graphics performance this laptop has. Running benchmarks yielded a score that was expected from the Dell G3, and laptops in comparison also yield similar scores, so benchmarks were right there on point. Gaming performance in itself is satisfactory, but left a little to be desired from the kind of hardware that is pumped into the Dell G3. For anything else that you plan to do on the Dell G3, if you're planning to use it for creative work using Photoshop, Illustrator, or any of those applications, the only problem we have is the anti-glare display does interfere with the brightness of the laptop in general and can be a little bit of a problem for the accurate color representation. We did find that colors are muted, they are not as accurate as we'd like them to be, and the overall gaming experience and the overall usage experience is brought down by the not so great quality of the display. But like I said in the beginning of the video, the laptop is a multitasking or a multi-use laptop targeted towards gamers, and it does that really well. If you're planning to use the laptop for anything else, it is a workhorse of a laptop and it'll give you good results and good battery life if you turn off the graphics card. But if you're aiming to get into the gaming space in this price bracket, if you're aiming to play games like PUBG, you will not be disappointed with the Dell G3. Anything higher than that, you will be left with low performing frame rates and a little bit of a sour taste in your tongue. That's it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat Nagpal along with Team iGyaan. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know if what we had was just a waste of time. You got 70,000 friends, but I am one of them.